Have you ever wondered why narcissists seem to understand you so well? At the beginning, it seems like your soulmates. It seems like it's the most perfect person, and they get you, right? Like you share stuff, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, wow, like this is like the first person that really connects, that it really gets me, and then it ends up coming out later that they're toxic and narcissistic and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but like you get to a place where they're mirroring. We're gonna talk about this today, but like, why do they actually mirror your desires, your interests, your values early on in the relationship? Today we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about 3 reasons why narcissists mirror you. How this actually works, of mirroring to manipulate to control to multiple different pieces here. So we're going to jump in to be able to talk about mirroring. Okay? Now, if you don't know what mirroring is, it oftentimes can look different depending on the situation, depending on the circumstance. Ideally, and the easiest way to be able to describe it is a mirror. Like literally taking you and giving a reflection of you back to you to make you fall in love with a version of you that's not actually you, but actually is the narcissist. We'll go with that for now, okay? The main thing is like, hey, like it's a quality that you like that all of a sudden they like that's not inherently something they like. It's just something they are mirroring back to you. That you're like, oh, I like this, and they have a mirror, and you like see, oh, like they like this too. Like, no, it's actually you liking it, but they're pretending that way it feels better, okay? And we're going to dive into that a little bit. All right, hopefully this makes sense. We're going to roll with this today. My name is Ben Taylor, self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse. So we try to dive in and be able to break things down from a different standpoint, from the narcissist standpoint, and to be able to help you understand more about what narcissism is and how it actually shows up. I'm the founder of Raw Innovation, the creator of the NARC app, and then your guide in the 7-day challenge called Escape Toxicity. It's a $7 challenge. You can jump in anytime, lifetime access. You join a group that's on there and you start going through day by day for a little bit over a week, sharing some of your homework, working together to be able to understand like, hey, this is narcissistic abuse. This is the fog that I'm in. This is the guilt that I'm struggling through. Let's work through that. We show you how we start to teach, how we start to build a baseline, a foundation for you to be able to step into there, learn, and then step to the next level and get to the healing that you actually deserve and that you need to move on in the relationship to the next relationship with healthy boundaries. Okay? So when we talk about this piece of mirroring, narcissists that mimic your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors to create a false connection, to create intimacy, I want to dive in and like look into some of it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to be able to point off with this is the reason why a narcissist mirrors you is first off to gain your trust and your adoration. Okay, admiration, whatever you want to call it. Okay, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, let me get you to trust me. And oftentimes this is done really quickly, really fast to be able to establish a bond with the target. Okay, so the target's here, and like I have to build a connection really quick and really fast. So if I can do this by mirroring what you like and making you think that I like what you like automatically, then you start to believe that we're soulmates. You start to believe that we have this great compatibility, that we have this great connection by mirroring your interests, your beliefs, your values. And a lot of times I would do this on multiple different levels. One of the easiest ones for me was like movies and music. Okay, like super easy. Like someone's like, I love this music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, me too. Like it's the same exact thing. And so a narcissist a lot of times will try to get to the place of saying like, hey, like I like what you like. When in reality, there's actually not a depth there. In reality, it's not something that the narcissist even cares about. This is why sometimes you'll see narcissists that struggle to even have like hobbies. You know, stuff that's like, okay, a little bit different that they enjoy, because a lot of times like that quote unquote joy for narcissists that doesn't really exist is fleeting. It's like looking for something that doesn't actually exist. So like there might be something that they sort of like to do, but it's not something that really matters that much. And so as a result, a lot of times they're more of like a shell of like, I don't really have a ton of things I like, and they feed off of other people. Like they pick off different things. So like my music style has changed radically over the years, just depending on the person that I was with. Like the dating or the affairs I was with, all of those developed a different music style. Like someone to say, oh, I like this artist or I like this type of music, I'd start listening to that. That way I knew more about it. That way I could make sure I could mirror it back to them of this is something I like too. And so this creates this illusion of a connection and a compatibility like really, really, really fast on so many different levels. Like if you end up connecting with someone, and a lot of times connecting just because like you share the same values, you share the same ideas, you share the same interests, and you're like, whoa, this person is an awesome person. Well, a lot of times it's because it's reflecting you back to you. Now, Caveat with this, because sometimes people take a piece of this and they run with this, being like the narcissist was attracted to you because of your intrinsic worth, because of all this good stuff, because of how amazing you are. Okay? There's a piece of that the narcissist is attracted to something there that they want to be able to manipulate and control, or something there that they want to be able to apply to their own lives. Now, the difference is it's not because you're so amazing in the narcissist's eyes. It's because they want something from you. It's because it's a transaction. A lot of times people get it kind of skewed up of like, oh, they care about me because they want this, or they want this because I'm such an amazing person. Narcissist doesn't really care if you're an amazing person or not. Narcissist cares what they get out of you. That's it, okay? Side note, soapbox, just want to be able to say that, okay? When we talk about this initial mirroring, like it allows a narcissist to start to gain trust and to lay the groundwork for manipulation. Okay, so think of it this way, like in early stages of a relationship, like very early on, love bombing, going through this, narcissists might express a strong interest for your hobbies, show enthusiasm for your passions, and align their values with you. They mirror your preferences of like, I want to do this too. Like this is, you do that exact way, me too. Like it's weird. But all of a sudden you start figuring out and finding out like this person seems like exactly like me. Like they seem to model and do the same things as me. Like that's why we're perfect together, right? But they mirror your preferences to make you believe that you found someone who truly understands and truly appreciates you. The difference is there's not that level of truly understanding and truly appreciating, not a depth to it. It's just a mask. The second reason why a narcissist mirrors you is to create this emotional connection. We often refer to it as a bond, and then it moves into a trauma bond. Mirroring serves as this powerful tool for narcissists to create emotional connections with the targets, and like we mentioned, to do it quickly. But when they reflect your emotions and experiences, they make you feel a certain way. They make you feel heard. They make you feel validated. Like you make you feel like they actually understand you. But you see, when a narcissist reflects this back to you, it means that he doesn't actually have to open up and show his own emotions and his own feelings. So for him, it's like, oh, this is safe. I don't have to be vulnerable. I don't have to show the shit inside. I can just reflect back to you and you like it. So it's perfect. Let me do that. This like emotional mirroring oftentimes gets to a place where they're fostering like this sense of intimacy. And it makes it difficult for you to recognize hidden motives because they're connecting with you so much. Like, you're like, why would this person hurt me? Like, why would this person be mean to me? Because, like, we have this connection because, like, it's great together. When in reality, it's just a manipulation. It's just a moment to be able to move forward. Sometimes you're going to see this in the aspect of, like, joy, sadness, frustration. And the narcissist is going to try to mimic those. And you'll start to pick up on it when you see it the first time of, like, wait a second, it is there, but it just felt different. Something felt off. It even felt like fake or even felt forced. Sometimes you'll see that with a narcissist trying to display empathy or compassion. There's been multiple times where like I've realized in the moment, okay, like my wife might need a hug or my wife might need this. And then I'm like, okay, like let me do it. And it was out of like obligation, right? It was out of like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do as a nice human being. So go give a hug. She feels it, right? Like it's not something that's like, oh my gosh, like he's actually compassionate. No, like she would feel it. She'd be like, you okay? Like something's off. I'd be like, pat, good, you're good to go, that kind of thing. And like she would feel it. It would be different because a narcissist doesn't have this like depth there of the emotions and the feelings that they're willing to tap into. That as a result, it makes it difficult to be able to show those deep emotions. But a narcissist will do anything they can at that point to manipulate and make you believe that they're genuinely caring about you, that they're actually sharing the emotional experience, that they're forging this deep connection, and it just reinforces their control over you, okay? So the third reason why narcissists mirror you is to shift blame and deflect responsibility. Now, narcissists are great at doing this on all different levels, and we see this all the time, but they use this tactic of mirroring to actually try to be able to get away from taking responsibility. And what that happens in the toxicity piece, when they mirror your behavior, they're like shifting the focus back onto you. Oftentimes, this is like direct mirroring of like, well, I think you're cheating on me. What? Why would I even do that? I think you're cheating on me because of this. So it's like shoving it back. It's kind of like blame shifting. It's just moving it back and forth. But by taking this aspect of trying to mirror your behavior, they're trying to make you focus on you and question your own thoughts and feelings. Okay, now we're moving into gaslighting and making you doubt your current reality, the things that are currently going on. This is a gaslighting technique, and it enables narcissists to actually avoid like the accountability. Like I need to be able to avoid the accountability, the responsibility as best I can so I can maintain control over you and make sure you're only looking at the situation a certain way. Think about it this way. Like, it happens the majority of the time when you confront a narcissist by something that's hurtful. Like, you might confront them and they're going to bounce it right back at you. I just feel like you're being emotionally abusive. I've been trying to communicate with you, but like, you come across really abusive. Like, when I open up to you, like, you never even make me feel hurt. And you're like, wait a second, that's how I feel. And he's like, no, that's how I feel. And so like, it's like switching it around. And then they're going to try to make you doubt your reality by you're overreacting, you're just as guilty, you're oversensitive, by mirroring your emotional response. So like, you might, this is why it doesn't work a lot of times to even respond to a narcissist emotionally, because when you do this, they'll either use it against you, like vulnerability, or they'll mirror it back to you, and you'll be like, well, I don't know how to deal with that, because now he's saying he feels like he's abused, but I'm the one that's been abused. So like, it gets confusing that way. But by mirroring this way, the whole goal is like, let me redirect the blame back onto you so that I don't have to feel bad about myself, and so that you're confused and you doubt your own judgment. If you're at this place where you're like, I'm confused, and you've experienced like devastating effects of narcissistic manipulation, if you're seeking support and guidance, I want to invite you to go to our 7-day challenge at escapetoxicity.com. For only $7, you'll gain valuable tools, insights, and assets to be able to provide you with a supportive community and help you break free from toxic relationships. If you're at the place where you're like, hey, I want to accelerate, I want to move forward faster, and you want to work with me one-on-one, would love to reach out. Just go to www.rawmotivation.com. Would love to interact with you. Would love to help you. We've got links down in the bios for everybody to be able to look at too. But we'd love to be able to help you move forward and understand why the narcissist is mirroring you so that you can be empowered of how to actually deal with it.